Hello guys and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Tiana and welcome to Design with Tiana. So today we'll be designing this landing page, but yeah, that's not all we're going to be designing today. So today, this tutorial for today is for beginners. You want to be a UI UX designer, you do not know, or I understand what UI UX is, I do not know what to do, I do not know what to use, I don't know how to use Figma. This is the video for you. So in this video we'll be setting up Figma for the first time, explaining the Figma interface, the shapes, all the tools that is in Figma, how you can use them. We'll be talking about layouts, grid, creating layouts, and creating styles in Figma, your color style, your grid style, your typography style, your text styles, your font size, everything that you need to know. Then finally, we're going to design this using everything that we've learned, setting up our Figmas and everything. Please, if this is something you are interested in, please watch to the end, because at the end I'll be dropping tips and tricks for you as usual. Yeah, so please subscribe, like and share with your friends that in this journey together with you. So let's get started. So this is what, like I said, this is the design we'll be making today. But before that, for those who are seeing Figma for the first time, who haven't heard of Figma, or you have heard but you are unable to like set up your own Figma by yourself, so this video is, you go to, from your Chrome, please go to this website called figma.com. So this is what the interface will be like. This is what the interface will be like. All you have to do is click on get started, click on get started, and in here you can sign in with your Google or with your email account, with your Google or your email account. So now if I click on continue with Google, right, so it's going to verify my email address, right, and the next step will be, oh okay, this is my name, right. In here you can change your name. Yes, you can see that the name is not actually like my legal name, right. You can change your name in here. You can decide, okay, which work do you do. I'll say select design, right. What do you use design for? Maybe for work, teaching, taking classes, personal use. Just select that. This you can agree to like Figma mailing list or not. Then you click on create an account. I'm not going to click on create an account because I have like 2 Figma accounts already, so I don't want to create another new account. So you can just click on create account. It is going to bring it to this page, which is where we're designing today. So it's going to bring it to this page, right. So this is something you're going to have. You may not have any recent in here, you may not have anything here. So these recent are like the design files that I have already, but you're going to have something like this. So now let me start explaining how Figma works for us from here, right. So in here is my name, my email, right. So under in here you could see this is my personal and this is for the community. So the Figma community is where you can get access to free design system, design other people's design that you can use, learn from. So this Figma community is like an open source, just like the word community, whereby people just post anything design related that you can have access to, learn from, read through, using your design as well. It is free for you to use. So now this is my community name, this is my own personal name. So currently I'm on my personal name, right, on my personal name. So the next thing you will have here is the draft, is the recent, right. The recent are like my recent design files, like I said. The next we have is drafts. So this includes all my design that is in my drafts. The recent could only include like your recent design draft, and in there you have the drafts and you have like deleted. So let's say if you have deleted, all the designs I've deleted in the past are all here, right. All the designs that I've deleted in the past are all here, so you can still come in here and restore them back. You see, you can like duplicate drafts, restore them or delete them forever. So like your deleted are still here and your draft. So if you mistakenly delete a design file, you can still go back and restore it back to Figma. Then in here is if you have a favorite file, right? So it is going to be here. If you actually click on a file and make it favorite, so this is how you can make a file favorite, right? Let me click down so we can see this is a particular file. If I click on this, it is automatically added to my favorite. So 15 landing page design, right? If I come in here under my favorite, I have 15 landing page design. So that's how you can add design files to your favorite. So if you have any design file that you'll be working on for weeks, months, and you want to just easily see it here under your favorite, just add it to favorite, so it's very easy to access from there. So another thing is the theme. So this theme depends on different themes that you're being added to. You created, maybe you could create it for a project, a paid project, or someone. The reason why you need to create theme is if you are not going to be the only one with analytics access. Let's say you're working with another designer, or you're working with a UX writer, or you're working with someone else on a design that require them to have the edit access, and you have to like send them like access to it. So you have to create a team for that. So and for the plan that we have, which is like the free plan, you can only create 3 teams, right? The moment you're done with 3 teams, that's the highest you could go. So you cannot create any other more than 3 teams. So yeah, I think that is it. So another point is in here you can have new design file, new Figma file, and import file. But the most commonly used one that you're going to use is going to be new design files, right? So this is where you're going to click on this plus button that will create a design file for you. So another part is in here you can search for your files, you can search anything, you can just type any word and it will come. So let me say landing pages, right? And you can see all the files that is landing pages, and you can see some from the community as well that I do not have from the community that I could just click on to look through. So these are like how the search functions like cancel in here, and we're back. So in another place that you can go to the community is from here. You can click on here to go to the community section where you can see all designs. You can access designs, plugins, design system, design UI kits, design files, and everything. In here is the notification, right? You can click here to see notifications. So this notification could be as maybe a comment, an invite to a file, or maybe somebody, if you have a file in where is it called the Figma community, you could get where is it called to notified in here. So and the other place here is the profile. So this is your community profile, this is your internal profile. So your internal profile is the one we have currently. Your community profile, when you click on it, it takes you to like another profile of yours in the community. We have the plugins, we have the settings, we have the theme, we have the desktop app, right? We have the add accounts, we have the logouts. So let's go to the community file to see how the community profile, sorry, to see how the community profile looks like. So this is how my community profile looks like, right? I already have my image, my name, my tag in the community, and about section where I could edit at any time. I have like 22 people following me. I was following one person, my location, right? Different links. These are things that you could easily edit. You can see the moment I have my console on them, it is editable. So it's just there, it is editable. So I already have some resources on the community. So yours can be empty, it is nothing bad. It's like that's the first thing you see. So and in there you can see how many people already likes your resources, how many people already duplicate your resources as well. So that's it in here. Now the notification in here for the community is different, right? Community notifications is going to tell you how many people liked your resources, how many people duplicate it, what was the comment, if there was any comments, right? You're going to get the comments there as well. So you can see all these notifications. I'll just mark them all as read, right, and move on. So now we are going back to the internal profile. So I'm just showing us that's how your community profile looks like. And now we want to go to the community too. From in here, I want us to go to the community as well to see what the community is all about. So if I click in here and go to the community, this is the community tab, right? This is the community tab. So in here you can see there are 8 resources: Figma resume template, Figma presentation template. We have a loading spinner. You have different resources that you can get here. So like I would mention for beginners, things that you can get that are very important to get from the Figma community could be the material design icon. Could be the material design icon, which is this, right? I'm going to select this. So this material design icon, like you can see, it has over 174,000 duplicates. So just click on get a copy and your own file will be created for you. So you are going to have a file of your own. So the icon is like one of the biggest icon library, and you're going to be using more of icons in your design, so you could just get this. Another thing I could say is the iOS design system, the Android design system too, because you're going to be needing them, or UI kits, anyone there. So you're going to be needing them in your design. Now I've already explained what the interface in here looks like, right? So let's say we create a profile, right? We're going to create a profile, then we'll take it from there. So in here, from like in here, just click on new design file, to create a new design file. So this is the new design file that we just created. So this is how it's going to look. Let's say this is your first design file. So yeah, the first thing I want us to notice is from in here, the main menu, which has like the Figma logo. If you click down here, you can see back to files. If I click on back to files, it's bringing us in here, the previous place I was. So I'm going to click on untitled again. Let me please open this in the meantime so that I could still go back. So I'm going to open the untitled, the previously created design file, right, to bring us back in here. So that was the first one. So please note, I do not download Figma app. I'm using this Figma directly on Chrome, which is why some of the things in here, if you're using the app, may look different but still function the same way. So now back to files. Another thing in here is you can create a new design file from here, a new Figma jam file from here. You can place image here. You can search your version control history here as well. You could export from here, and you could export frames to PDF. So you could you could convert different frame that you have in your design to PDF, just one PDF document, and each frame will be like pages in your PDF. So in here we have the edits, we have the view, the objects. This is where the plugins will be, right? This is where the plugins will be. I have a lot of plugins. So we're still going to go into details with that. So and yeah, so that's just it for this. This is like you barely use this at the end of the day. So the next tool we have is the move and the scale tool. So in here is the move. The move tool is like the default tool that you use the most in your design. So in here, if you click on the move, you have the move tool and the scale tool, right? Use the scale tool mostly for color and for images, typography, and what is it called? Sorry, images, any graphics. Actually, you use your scale tool to scale them down, and during the learning process, I'm still going to discuss more in details about that. So the next tools, what is it called? You have is the frame. Please. You can notice I'm going back to the move to right. You can see this side we have design, prototype, inspect, right? Here we just have background, local color, and export. You can see how this is. So the moment I click on frame, can we notice how that changed, right? So we have frames in here. Frames are styles. These are like sizes of what is it called? It's like the background you'll be working on, like that's like the artboard you'll be designing everything on. So we already have some pre-design sizes or pre-selected sizes here for us. So under the phone, If you click on phone, you can see different iPhone sizes and Android as well. Right, if you go on that tablet, you see different tablet sizes as well. Desktop, you see different desktop, MacBook Air Pro, desktop, wireframes, we have TVs as well. If we click on presentations, we have different presentations, same for watches, same for paper, different paper sizes. Then we have for social media, right? So because Figma is not just mainly used by UI UX design, it is used by people for graphic design as well. And as well, you could want to present your UI design on your social media, right? So there's this social media section where you can get the sizes for Twitter post, Facebook post, Instagram story, Twitter header, dribble shots, LinkedIn cover, and every other thing. So the last part is the Figma community, where we have the plugins, the profile banner, the plugin, and file cover. So finally, we have like a mixture of everything we could have in here. So we have some previously 11 Pro Max, right? Under the phone, we currently do not have 11 Pro Max, right? But 11 Pro Max, I think 11 Pro Max was one of the ones that I've used a lot in my design. So I don't know, maybe that's why it is here, but we see some, what is it called, in here, sizes in here that are not in other sections right there. So you could just check that as well. So yeah, we are done with the frame, right? So the next one is the shape tool, right? Is the shape tool. So when you click in here, you have the rectangle, the lines, the arrow, the circle, the polygon, the stars, and the place image. So yeah, let's just start with practical because it is taking time. So the first thing is I want to show us frame. So for the frame, I'm going to select the frame, right, and I'm going to select a mobile phone, So I want to select the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this is the iPhone 14 Pro Max, right? So we are coming in here to the shape tool and we are selecting a rectangle. So we are bringing a rectangle right in here. So you can see that. So you can do the same. You can follow along with this tutorial and we can create our lines. So this is the line. So in here, the moment you create a line, please let's come in here. You can see stroke. So the thickness of the lines is the number as figure is currently 1. If I make this 6, we can see how the thickness change, right? So now another thing is we can convert our lines to arrows, right? So you could just select, make sure it is selected, come in here and decide, do you want it to be a line arrow, right? You can do this both sides depending on what you are looking to achieve with Figma. So I'm going to turn this back to normal. So in here you can decide, is it a triangle arrow that you want? Do you see something that looks like, then the reverse triangle, right? And you can just play with this and see the different, what is it called, that we have. Another thing that we have in here is you could decide if you want the edges to be round, right, or square, So I'm going to go back to none, right? So we've already talked about the line, the rectangle as well as every other thing. In here, the rectangle, you could change the height and the width, the height, the angles. I want this to be 45 angles. So you can see that, just make it slanted, right? So you can change the angles, you can change the color, come in here and select a particular color. You can change the color in here. What else can we do? In here, so let's play with the circle, the same thing. So to have a perfect circle, right, your width and your height should be the same thing. So I'm going to make this 163 to have the perfect circle, And another thing you can do with a circle, apart from the width, the height, the color, as same as the rectangle, right? Another thing we can do is, please, I want to zoom in now so that we can see this circle is. If you look at your circle, right, make sure your circle is selected. You will see this arc. So you can open this up, right? So this is how you can have an half, 50%, or go down like this to 25, right? So you could play around with this. And another thing is, apart from sweeping this, selecting the arc and going, so you can come to the ratio in here too and draw this back, and bring it back to 0. So please, you can, one thing about tools is play around with it to understand how it functions, and before you know it, find your way around this. Another thing is, you can change the corner radius to any figure you want. So right now I have 12 in here. You can see how this change, right? From these sharp edges, I'm going to have a corner radius to it of 12. You can see the changes, right? You can see the changes. Another thing with this is, with the start, you can start moving this around, right? If I want this facing top, just with the start, I want to move this around, seeing this facing front. So that's it with the circle. The polygon, right? So let's check the polygon. So we are currently have a polygon, right? So in here, apart from selecting the width, the height, the color as usual, in here you can select the sizes that you want, the counts. So this is currently 3, which is like a triangle. So I can decide to make this 5. I can decide to make this 7. I can decide to make this 9. So these are like still the basic tools, things you can use Figma for. Then the next one is the drawing tools, which includes the pen and the pencil. I do not use this. I could not draw. So yeah, some people use Figma for illustrations, to draw characters and everything. So these are their tools as well. These are a great tool to master. But yeah, I'm not good at that. So the next one is the text, right? So in here, click on text to type anything. So I want to type welcome back. And can we talk about the text properties that we could change? So apart from changing our color, so in here for the text, we can change our color, right? Change our color to the red we've been using, right? So another thing is, we could change our typeface. We change our, currently the default is Inter, so I wanted to change this to Domini, right? So I can change that. I can change the width to maybe the options that my typeface has. So it's currently regular. I wanted to make this semi-bold. So another thing is, I can change the size from 12 to 24. I can change the line height. So the line height is, let me make this way. So can you see this? Can you see this, please? Let's pay attention to this welcome back text. So my line height is the space between welcome and back. The space between welcome and back in here. So my line height for the auto is 27. So I want to make it 60 so that you can see the difference. So you can see the space increase between welcome and back. So I'm going to take it back to 32. So you still have that. So the next thing is the letter spacing. The letter spacing is the difference between W and E, between E and L. So yeah, so in here it is currently 0%. So I want to make this 50, and let's see the difference. So you can see the space between each letter of your words in your typography. So those are like things that you could make changes to. I'm going to return this to 0.5 and see. So you can see it is so back. So yeah, so that is it for the text. So the next thing we could have is the resources. So this resources section is a new added features where you can have your components, your plugins, your any other thing from the community. You could get anything from the community in here. So the next one is the hand tool. And lastly is the comments. This is like one of my favorites. part of Figma, features from Figma, tools from Figma that I really love. So if you're working with people, collaborate with others, and you want to make a comment in a particular design, just click on comments, come in here and write, can we please change this? So profile, and you send there. Yes. So others, the person will be, other people that are on the design file will be notified if they are signed up with their email. They will get an email, and an inbox in their email telling them this person already made a comment. So yeah, another thing is I want to show us is if I select this comment, right, I can reply. So that means every other person on design could reply to you. They could resolve to. That means I wanted to, just like this comments, we've already talked about it and I've come to a conclusion and this is the end of the conversation. Just click on resolve. Yeah, so I think we're done with this part. So yeah, we want to come down in here and look at layers. So layers is, you can see currently I have this phone. I'm going to delete all this now so that we can focus on another part. So I'm going to delete this. So you can see we have layers. It is currently empty. I want to undo that. But when I add this iPhone 14 was there. So the layers is, the layer actually have like show all your designs based on the frequently updated one. So if I have another frame in here, right, you see that frame is coming at the top, not below. So it is, as you're adding new elements, it is just showing up and showing up and showing up over and over and over again. So yeah, this is what the layer is for. The asset is when you create an asset, a component or anything that you have, you created a component that you have, you can easily pick them in from here and bring it to your design. So another part is the pages. So currently for the defaults you have page 1. So in here you can come in here under pages, you can see page 1, right? When I open that up, so this is, you click the drop down, so it opens up for pages, page 1, and in there you can create a new page. So you can create as many pages as possible for your design. So currently we have page 1. I can make this page 3, right? So this is like another page. So you can see this page, there is this design, but when I get to page 3 there is no design, right? It is a blank canvas. There is nothing in page 3. So yeah, that's how you could be working on a project that requires you have more than one page. Maybe a project that requires you to design a landing page, a web application, a mobile app. You could use different pages. To do all of these things. So now back to our design. We've explained all these parts. Now we are coming to the middle, right? So in here we have the untitled, which is like the default name because we do not give this a name. So you can double click on this and name it first design, right? First design. And if you click on the drop down, you could show version history. Version history means it's going to show you different version of your designs. So that means if you mistakenly deleted something, you can see the previous version and duplicate it or restore that version to your design. So I'll just explain version history in a way that, okay, let's say this morning you wanted to cook rice. You've already boiled, let's say you want to cook rice, rice and stew, right? You already boiled your rice this morning. Then in the afternoon you made your sauce. But maybe during the process, you already made the version in the morning, and during the afternoon, you decided to like garnish it and everything. Then you taste it and realize you made a mistake. It's just like if there is a chance for you to undo that actions and go back to the first version in the morning, so that you can still correct that mistakes. That's like the version history. So it gives you the chance to go back to see different versions of your designs and be able to restore them. I hope you all understand. With the food analogy. So I hope you all understand that. So in here too, you could export this, you could duplicate this, you could rename the same thing. Instead of duplicate, you could rename, you could move to projects, you could favorite this file, and finally you could delete. And your delete will be added to the delete on the drafts that I showed in the beginning of this video. Please, if you have watched this video to this point, this is the time. This is the time to please like, share, and comment if there is anything that you want me to explain more in details. If there is anything you do not understand, let me know in the comment section. I'll be attending to all comments. I'm trying to like connect more with my subscribers, right, since we're just like a small family in here. And please subscribe and share this to your friends and family too. So you could delete. Now right here, when it comes to this side, we have this section, the design. So this design is where you can make edits. So before I select anything, this is the default. This is going to have your local styles. This is going to have your exports. So which means, what do I want to export, right? Am I exporting all these designs as PNGs, or am I exporting it as JPG, which is still images too, right? Am I exporting it as SVG, which is like graphics, right? And am I exporting this as PDF, so like documents? So in here we have the local style. Currently we have an empty style, right? So when we start creating styles, we're going to have our styles under the local styles. We have the background, which is the background of this canvas, right? That is here. So let me change this background to this, so you can see the background I'm talking about. So yeah. So the next thing is the prototype. So at this session, the prototypes has to do with the from one screen to another. We're still going to get to that point in this course, right? But not in this video. So please, if you still want me to have this as series, let me know. And the last one is the inspect. This is mainly for developers. So if I select a particular element, they could see the height, the width, the spacing to the top, the spacings to the left, the color, the CSS code, and if there is any, like this one now, it is a transform rotate 45 degree, because I have it as 45 degree. It is written in here in code. So that is it. So we have this in code and in table for the developers. So the next thing that we have here is in here my picture and my name. The next thing is share, where you could share this design file. If I click in here now, I could say, oh, anyone with a link can view, right? So I can copy link and send it to people, and everyone with that link can view my design. So if I said anyone, only people invited to this file, that means even if I copy this link, people will not be able to see it. That means only people that are invited to this file can access it, right? So anyone with the link is the default. And this is what you do when you want to get review from people, right? So the next thing is, after from invites, so let's say you want to work with other designers, you've created a design file, you want to work with other designers. What can you do? Have their email in here, write their email and change it to can edit, right? And send invites. So the send invites button is not active. So let me write my email again. So you can see this is my email, right? This is the same email for this. So that's the reason for the first error. Can edit, just you can see this is, so the moment I send on send invite, it's going to send to this email, and the person is going to be notified on their Figma file, on their Figma what's it called, in here. They're going to get the notifications in here that so person invited you to their design. So let me see if I have a recent one that told me, oh, this person invited me to the design. I don't think I have. Okay, so in here there's like, oh, this person made you an editor of their file, or this person invited you to their design. It's always invitation, right? So I'm always notified there, and as well I'll get an email in my inbox in my email, right, that inform me, oh, this person invited me to their design. So on the Figma in here, you can reject or accept. In here, it's giving being a voice code that I could reject or accept. So if you do not know the person, maybe it's a mistake, you can just reject that. So that is it. And finally, in here is a play button for present button for prototype. When you start having prototype, this is where you click on the present button that takes you to the prototype section that plays your prototype for you, where you could interact with it and see if your prototype is working the way you intend for it to work as well. So now back to our designs, right? I'm going to be deleting this. I'm going to be closing this pages up so we can just focus on this. So now currently we already explained setting up Figma. The Figma interface has been covered. Now we're going to talk about the design styles and creating styles in design. So the first thing I'm going to do is, for this video, I'm not trying to make it long. I'm trying to get us to get started and know the basics, right? So it's not going to be more of conversations, but more of let's get start working. So in here, I'm going to be explaining the layout grid system to us. So the layout grid system is just like a guideline that help us to like align our design elements the right way. So the layout grid, I'm going to just come here, please. I want to undo that so that you can see my frame. I selected the desktop one, right? So I'm going to come in here. After it's selected, you see layout grid. Just click on the plus button twice. I'm going to set out my layout grid. So now this is for the column, the count is always 12. So this is not compulsory. Yeah, the layout grid could be avoided, but for beginners, you have to use this. Even people in the industry for maybe 4, 5, 6 years are still using layout grid. Please use layout grid. And the layout grid should not always be 12, right? There are some creative website that has a layout grid of, let's say, 4, of 8, right, of 6, depending on the layouts you were going for. But the default, the commonly used, is always the count of 12. The margin is between 100 or 120. I'm using 120 for this design, and the gutter value of 20. For the type is stretch, the width is auto, we are not touching that. So the second grid is, I'm going to select second grid and go with my row. So my row should be as many numbers as possible. So I'm going to make this 50,000. I'm going to, the type is going to be from the top, right? The height should be 8. If yours is 10, please change it to 8. The offset is 0. Then in here, change this to towards 0. So straight in here, this is our layout grid for desktop. This is our layout grid for desktop. So the next thing we want to do is come in here and create a style for this. So why are we creating a style? That means if I want to have 5 or 6 desktop, will I go in and keep having the value for the layout grid every time? No, I do not want to waste time doing that. So creating styles save us times and even make it very easy to edit across board, right? So if I create a style and I use a style in another design, if I make changes to the style, it reflects in everywhere I use the design style, everywhere that I have the style implemented in my design. So this is it. So in here now, I'm going to click on this, not the plus, the icon before it that says style. Click on the style icon, click on plus, and I'm going to have a name for this, and the name for this is going to be desktop grid. Create style, right? Desktop grid. So, and this is going to be the grid for the desktop. For this video, we'll not be going into like the grid for the mobile. For this, you could check my previous video. I already have the grid system for the mobile as well. So this is how you create a style. And so how do we use this style, right? I want to show us how to implement this style. So I want to have another frame and select desktop. So you can see this is the new frame selected. All I have to do is click on style and select desktop grid. And you can see it is implemented immediately. Instead of me having to select column, the count, the margin, the gutter value, or everything, it is used immediately. So I'll delete that So you can see how that is implemented. Perfect. So the next thing I want to do is, now I want to bring our designs, right? These designs that I showed us at the beginning of this course that we will be creating, now bringing it right into what is it called, so that we can see how to create this. So we can just follow along and create a first design. So we're going to be creating our color styles as we go, and I will teach you how to select different colors for your different design components. So this is an arrow section of the page, and this is what we are going for. So the first thing I wanted to do is I want to have a frame. What am I using? I want to have this section. It is this section that I want to use. You can see this section, the one that has the logo, the navigations, and the button. So that's like the top navigations, right? So top nav bar. So this is what I want to design. And right here we could ask, why am I using frame and not a rectangle? Frame is the only element that could have other design elements inside of it. So this desktop is a frame, so you could have another frame inside of a frame. But the point is, the moment you have the frame, please come in here and click on fill. Come in here and click on fill. So that means this has a background. So in here under this, so we are going to select our colors first. I'm going to have a rectangle in here. I have a rectangle here, and I'm going to select the color purple. So let me say, how do I select my color? I know I was going for the color purple for this particular brand color. So if you're working on a personal project, you have to decide the color. If you're not working for a personal project, right, you have to get the color from the client you're working with or the business you're working with. They already have like their brand color already. So now the brand color for a personal project should be between the, in here you can see I use HSL. So this is use saturation and lightning, and this is the 100%, if it's 50%, it is how, what is it called, the opacity, right? This is it here. So the lightning is always between 40 to 60 for my accent colors. So, and that's like the brand primary color that I'll be using. So the next thing is I'm going to duplicate this rectangle, right, and make this to 5. I want to change this 40 to what? To 5. This 40 to 5. And I want to see if this is what I will be using in my design. Let me see if I can use this in my design, or if I have to go a little bit lower. So I selected this, right, which is 5, and 5 was a bit adding too much element of this. So I'm going to drag this to this side to give me a touch of the color I was going for, but not too much. So you can see the moment you change the background color, it shows that my, what is it called, color is in here. So it shows my frame in here is selected. So this is the color that I have. You can see the color is actually different from the one in our design. So another way you could select color is if you already want to copy a particular design, you have the design, maybe an image from the design, or you have the design directly in here, just use your color picker in here. This is the color picker, and click on this. So that's it. So I'm going to undo that. So another thing is, I don't know if your design may not have HSL, just click here. It could be at any of this point, just come in here and click on HSL so that you can follow along. So the next thing you want to do is create this. So I don't know if you notice, this is something I already made this an example in our first, what is it called, when we were creating. So we are going to have a circle, right? Have a circle here that is 80 by 80, right? 80 by 80. Then we look for our arc, like we should. Then we look for the ratio, right? Go in with the ratio, come in here a little bit. And go in here with 8. change the color to the purple that we have. And the moment I select this purple, I know this is the color. How do I create a style for this? I'm going to come in here and click on style. I'm going to make it primary accents. So I'm going to create style. So now, if we, without selecting anything, we go to our local style. I have color style, primary accents. So that is how you create a style. So the next thing I want to have is I have this in here, and I'm going to have a text that says the name of the brand, business, that means your business friend, the best friend your business could have. And in here you can see this is the text I'm using, Domini regular 28. So right now I'm not sure if 28, I'm using 32 to see this. So the next thing I want to do is I want to change the color between this. I want to change the color to click on the style, click on this, and what, make this the style. And right in here I'm coming down with this. This is too big, right? This is 80 by 80. This should be 40, 56. Seems a little bit opened. I'm trying to get us to create this from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to select this, hold down shift and select this tool and click on auto layout. So auto layout is one of the features on Figma that you could use to create responsive. So that means if the direction is going like this, you can see how this changed. If the direction is going here and the spacing between them is 55, I want the spacing between them to be 8. So you see how that changed. So I'm going back right here. I'm turning up my grid to see the differences. My grid is turned on, right? So you can see that this is outside. So that means my design is starting from here. So another thing is I want to create the navigations, right? So currently we have how it works, products, resources, and FAQs and contact us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 navigations. So I'm going to have a text in here that says how it works. And how it works is going to be 20. It's going to be 20. And the next thing I wanted to do in here is, this is how it works, 20. I'm going to duplicate this and have I'm sure we have resources, we have products, right? Okay, so before I just go into that, I'm going to select this tool, add auto layouts. Let's go to this direction and make sure the difference between is 40. So right here I'm going to duplicate this. So I think this should be products. So I think we have products. The next one is what? How it works, products, resources, FAQ, and contact us. Products, resources, FAQs. and finally contact us. So another design, what is it called, that I do not talk about was if you select anything, this is the alignments in here. So I want to take this to zoom this out so that we can see. So I have this selected. If I click on here, you can see how it went to the left. In here, how is at the center, to the right, to the top, to the middle, to the bottom. So you could align anything the way you want as far as you have it selected. So the last thing I wanted to have is I want to have the login button. I want to have the login button, the button that says log in, which is going to be 18 medium. And the moment I have to edit that again, 18 medium, and I'm going to have this selected, right? Frame selection. The moment I right click and click on frame selection, right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on auto layout. So for text, before you can add auto layouts to them, this is not to text, just a particular, just one text. You have to convert them to frame. So that's where I click on frame selection. So in here, I want to make this a button. So I'm going to make this 12, right? And in here 24. So let me make this 13. 13, 26. So the next thing is I'm going to add a fill in here. So the fill is going to be this color, the background color that I have on. And why this is going to be the, so I'm selecting this color that I have here, but I'm changing the HSL to 98 to 98. Oh my god. I didn't realize this. So this is meant to be the previous color that it has. And I'm supposed to change this black to 98. To 98. So yeah, it gives us that color we are looking for. So in here, I'm going to come in here and change this to 4. Is it 4 or 8? Let me change this to 8 to see. Yeah. So now we already have our top section done. But we still have to use auto layout again. So what you're going to do is you're going to select this frame that has everything. I'm going to add auto layout. So the moment I add auto layout, I'm coming in here and adding this as auto. So this means it's going to have a fixed width and the spacing between it is going to be auto. So it's going to be decided by the, so in here it's going to be 120, it is 120. And from the top bottom is going to be, from the top I want this to be 100. From the bottom I want this to be 64. So yeah, so that's how we have it. So that means if I delete this, right, it's automatically, right, just fix the spacing between them. It automatically just fix spacing between them. So I do not have to come in and edit every single time. So please let me know if you've gotten to this point. Please, you should at this point subscribe, please. So I'm going to on this. I'm going to on my grid, right. I'm going to have the text that says register your business. Register your business. Okay, I wanted to get the text correctly. The text word. Register your business in any country of your choice from anywhere in the world. It was supposed to be in the world. Oh, what a typo. Register your business in any country of your choice from anywhere in the world. So please let me make that correction to this because I'm definitely sure I'm going to forget to. So I'm going to select this, right? And for my H1, which is like this heading, mostly I use, it depends on the projects I do, but for projects with the same layout, it is between 56 and 48, usually between 56 and 48, but because other bigger size are too big to take in that much space. So the moment I make this 56, you can see how big this is, how big this is, how big this is. So I'm bringing this to 6 to the 8. So I'm bringing this. Register your business in any country of your choice from anywhere in the world. So another thing is the letter spacing between this, right? 64. I do not like the letter spacing. It looks kind of not easy to read for me, right? So I made this 72. I made it 72. So you could tell the difference, right? This was before, and this is because it was 64. I made it 72, which was how many? 8, right? I added 8 to the letter spacing. And yeah, we have that. So the next thing we're going to have is this text, but we're too late out of time. So I'm going to just duplicate this text and bring it in here. I'm going to have this text and bring it in here. Right. So the text is, we help you register and start your own company from anywhere in the world, which has a size of 18 regular and a line height of 24, sorry, a line height of 24. And I think I want to add the letter spacing of 0.5%, right? Letter spacing of 0.5% for more readability. And in here, I'm going to make the spacing between them to be 8. And I'm going to make the spacing between, selecting these two elements, the spacing in here to the top to be 80. 80 or 100, right? Let me confirm this spacing. 80. Wow, I'm sure. I'm so surprised. I'm able to make that, yeah, 80. So the next thing is I'm selecting this button, right? So we already created a button. So what we're just going to do, I said, since we created our button with auto layout, is we could still easily just keep using the same. You can see, we see it's the same color system. So what happens when I edit this color, right? I'm going to show us at the end of this video. So please watch to the end. So in here, I'll click on get started. And the next button will be the explore our products. So I'm thinking about something, right? How many space does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is taking 6. No, this should take 7. Or let's say to this place. But it should not take a full, what is it called? So you can see how I just realized I have to have a graphics by the side, and going with this layer wasn't going to serve the purpose. So I'm going to move this element down. So I want to make sure this is the spacing between this is 8. So how do I get that? You select a particular scene, hold down your Alt key and move your cursor to that. Right, move your cursor to that. So it gives you the value, and you know if you want to add more or you want to remove a little bit. So from here to the is always I always add 48. So this is 47, this is 40, it's meant to be 48. And the space between these two will be 40. So I use my arrow to the side. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove the fill for this and add a stroke. So a stroke is a line that you could have round. So I'm having 2 stroke here. So in here I'm just going to change the stroke to the 98. 90 I usually have. So now you can see what the stroke is. The stroke is this line across. So that's the stroke. That's how you can have that stroke. So the next thing I wanted to add is this card. This card. So you can see we have 6 cards, right? So all I just did is we have 12. We have 3 cards. Sorry, we have 12. Counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Count for our column rectangle. So I'm going to 12 divided by 3, that's 4 each. So I'm going to create a frame that takes just 4 spacing of that. That's like 4, right? So I'm going to select that. So you can see this is like 4. This is going to be beyond. So this is like still right inside, right? So it is 4, and I want this to the top spacing to be 120. It is 120. So yeah, that is it. So the next thing I want to have is this. I want to have another frame on this frame, right? So I'm going to have another frame on this frame, and that frame will be so in here for this frame I'm going to select the color we have here. I'm going to change this to 90. Then I think I'll go for 85. So yeah, but now I'm going to draw this here across, and I'm going to select the bigger frame. But the smaller one is not inside the bigger frame, so I want to bring it right inside. So I'm going to select this bigger frame and make this a corner radius of 16. So we have that, and I'm going to have a text that says, what does this say? Business and company registration and company registration. Right, so I'm going to make this 24. I'm going to make this 24. 24 to the right in it. So I want to make this sure it is just 24 to this side. It's still 30, so I need to add 6 to this. So yeah, we have 24, 24, 24. So right down here, I want to make this 24, 24, but the bottom should be 40. It's like more spacing at the bottom. So that means for this, I still have to like add an extra one. So we should have the perfect, what is it called? But I'm not sure it's going to be perfect because I realized this is too tight. So I'm making this 32, so it's readable. And right there we have, I know we still have to add another 10. So that means in here the height, I'm changing this to 28. So yep. Yes, this is what I was going for. So I'm going to select this text of 1 and turn off my grid in here to see how it looks. So this is what I have. All I have to do is duplicate this and make changes across board. So I need the difference should be 24, right? The spacing should be 24. Since our gutter value is 24 for our, so and duplicate that. So we should have the perfect. Looks like there is something going on somewhere. So in here, what I'll be doing with this is I'll be changing the color. I'm going to be changing this color. So I'm just going to drag this across and select another color. Come in here and drag this across. You could realize the HSL will still be the same, right? Just making some minor changes. So in here, I'll just add other text. So we have simplified tax and compliance. I'm going to add simplified tax and compliance. So now for the registration, I think I made a mistake with the registration spelling. So you just double click and yeah, we have a size corrector on Figma now. Figures happy, we have that, so happy. So finally is we have the last test that says visa and travel permit for your team. Visa and travel permit for your team. So this card is like for all the details that the user have, the service that the business have for the user. So visa and travel permit for your team. So yeah, we are almost done with the design, and finally before the end of this, something else is remaining, right? We need this. So where can we get this from? So I have this I got this from this website called Icons Cut, right? So what I searched for was word map, and I filtered this to be illustrations, and it is free. It is free. So this is it, and I click on download, right? And please make sure you download it as SVG so you could edit, not PNG, please. SVG, you could see it is actually written recommended. Please go for that so you could edit. So now I already have that in my design. So the color that came in was not this color, so all I did was just work with the color and reduce the size to 650 by 650. This size to 650 by 650 and have it in my design. So that's where you could get illustration from. So I was saying, oh, at the end of this course, this video, I'll be giving out tips, right? So I'm going to show us where we could get color. So now tell me, which one is your favorite? The previous one that I showed us or the one we designed? Which one is your favorite? Please let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section which one will you be putting your money on. Let's correct this, contact us in here. Which one do you love the most between this? So another thing is we do not change our color, right? So I'm going to talk about that. We used black 000 for most of our designs. We'll be making changes to that. So these are like the tips I'm going to show us. Your color there should be, what is it called, hierarchy with your colors, right? So for our color in here, this frame particularly, we are not going to be using this color. We are going to select this color. Now bring this to the top. The top is, you're moving to like this lighter shade. So we are selecting this color, right, which is 3C3939, and this one here is like the pure white. So we are going to a lighter shade as well. We are coming down to this shade. So for this as well, we are not using FF, the pure white. We are going to change this to the 98 that we have in our designs. Both these ones will be changed to our background color from 00. We'll be changing them to our background color in here, because they are like an important part that we still want users to view and have access to. So I think at the end, we've come to the end of this. What is it called? You could see tell the difference between this. So for, if you need the color just for this, let me say for this we have DDD9D9. So in here for this we have F8, F6, F6, FE, F8, F6, FE. For so these are like our colors that we use for most of our designs. And yeah guys, thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, so the tips I said I was going to drop, I'm not going to forget to drop that tips for you, because if you've watched this video to this point, I'm saying kudos to you. Thank you for your support, thank you for your love, thank you for your care, and thank you. So the tips is, I'm going to show us websites where we can get images, we can get icons. So I talked about Icons Cut, right? iconscut.com, where I got the illustrations that we use from. So another website, two websites I want to talk about for images is pixel.com, right? So you could get royalty free images in here that you could use in your design for any project of your choice. Just search for the word, right? Search for the word and you're good to go. The next thing is the unsplash.com, so where it is the second website you will use for any images to copyright free images that you could get. Now the next website I want to talk about is called ondraw.co. This is an open source illustration library, right? So you can get illustration. All you have to do is click on browse now and search for different illustrations, free for you to use, free and easy for you to use. So please these are like the resources I have. And yeah, finally the final tips is going to be on this screen, right? I'm bringing us some goodies for sticking through to this end. So I'm giving us like a list of typeface that we should have. So the typeface I use in today's design is the meaning. So you could have different typeface, right? You could have different typeface. Please, if you're starting out and you do not have all these typeface, please download them and try them in your design. It is time to drop the inter. It is time to drop the roboto. There is a roboto in here, right? So please, roboto mono is here. So please get new typeface in your designs. So yeah, we've come to the end of today's video. Please thank you for watching through to this point. Thank you. See you next time. If you have any requests, any video you want to request for, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.